Your WhatsApp also lah.
Apa khabar? Assalamualaikum. I am here to address the issue of the test drive. Saya tahu ramai nak tanya pasal itu. Okey, macam ni. As was explained by my political secretary, we were on our way to Kuala Lumpur. On the way kita lapar, hungry. So we stopped at the food shop. And there betul-betul sebelah the food shop ada kedai kereta showroom. Itu je. As my political secretary said, that's all that happened. Apa dah? Ada video dan gambar yang tunjuk saya masuk the showroom kapak ke? Okay. Ladies. Okay. Yeah. Let's say I masuk the car showroom. It's only because tengah makan, I look across the road, I saw benda yang cantik. Kereta yang cantik. Kereta tu. So, you know lah, kita nampak benda cantik, kita tertarik. Kita tertarik sana. Bukanlah macam saya tertarik dengan janda ke, dengan Minah Hewang ke, Belen ke. Tapi kalau ada janda dalam kereta yang cantik tu, lagi bagus kan. Joke, it's a joke. So, saya pergi sebelah nak tengok aja yang kereta yang cantik tu. Tiba-tiba ada salesman datang. He greet me. Apa dah? What is the salesman doing in the shop during MCO, padahal car salesman is not essential? Han tanyalah dia dan tanya saya pula. Kerja saya hanya to greet him. Apa salah kita greet people? During MCO tak boleh greet people ke? SOP kata tak boleh greet people ke? Ada ke? Ada. Tak ada. So that is all that happened. I just crossed the road to greet him. That is all that happened. Nothing happened. Apa dia? Ada gambar dan video yang nampak saya masuk dalam kereta tu ke? Okay. Ladies. Let's say I masuk the kereta. I duduk dalam the passenger seat. The salesman duduk in the driver seat. Dia yang driver. My bodyguard duduk kat belakang. So I was not test driving the car. I was test passenger the car. Ada tak SOP mengenai test passenger? Tak ada kan? Tak ada. Don't have. Itulah dia. So, apa dah? What about the SOP that says you cannot have more than 2 people in a car? Han siapa? Where you from? Nilai? No wonder lah. I will not be judged by you. I will not be. Assalamualaikum. Thank you all for come here. I will answer all your question. Apa dia? Kat depan tu. My comment when it was reported in the morning that Timbalan Menteri Ahmad Amzad said kerajaan tak dapat memenuhi permintaan orang ramai merakam gambar atau video ketika disuntik. Cannot. You cannot take the video because this will mengganggu the kelancaran of the vaccination process. You tengah dapat the vaccine, you take out your camera and then the nurse or the doctor see the camera want to ansang ayo. Cannot, you will mengganggu. Cannot, tak boleh, cannot. Bagaimana in the afternoon pula, petang, YB Khairi Jamaluddin said you can take the video in the vaccination process? Can. Apa salahnya? Boleh. Bagus. Memang bagus. Boleh. Because you nak ingatkan. You want to remember. You want to posting IG story. This one is my posterity. I remember. Boleh. Apa salahnya? Kenapa confused? Apa yang confused? Kenapa timbalan menteri pagi cakap sesuatu, menteri petang cakap lain? This is not confusing. The reason the timbalan menteri said one thing in the morning and the menteri said another thing in the afternoon, if you don't want to take a video selfie, you go vaccine in the morning. If you want to take the video selfie, you vaccine in the afternoon. Apa yang confused? Tak boleh. Senang. Assalamualaikum. Welcome. Thank you all for come here. Saya akan jawab soalan anda. I will answer your question. Apa dia? komen mengenai timbalan menteri yang nikah online with the imam in a masjid kedai baru di Golok. First of all, fitnah, fake news. Mana ada masjid yang call itself masjid kedai baru? Is it a kedai or a masjid? How would you feel if I buka a kedai and call it masjid baru? Confused tak you? You nak datang sembahyang ke nak beli buku? Confused. Tapi seperti yang dijelaskan oleh the timbalan menteri, ini perkara peribadi. This is a private matter. Why you all sibuk-sibuk probok ni? The timbalan menteri told Sinar Harian, and I quote, isu seperti ini sepatutnya tidak berlaku. What does he mean that the nikah patutnya tidak berlaku? No. The video patutnya tidak berlaku. Who would be so stupid to break the law and then video and then upload the video online? It shouldn't have happened. Takkan you nak makan durian PKPP ataupun you nak visit your friend for lunch and then upload the video online. It shouldn't have happened. You will not do it. What's that? The timbalan yang di-Petua Majlis Agama Islam Wilayah Naratiwat Abdul Aziz Cik Mat menjelaskan pihaknya tidak pernah mengiktiraf pernikahan secara dalam talian. This is where he is wrong. Ini bukan secara talian. Nobody is calling, halo, tak ada. This was online, atas talian, on the line. Macam Tinder, macam Grindr. What is Grindr? I don't know. Anyway, they didn't calling. This one is video calling. Ini norma baru. But once again, I repeat, it shouldn't have happened. But why nikah right now during this time when the entire country is struggling, orang yang tak ada makan, tak ada nasi, and why nikah in the first place? Ini you kena salahkan Spanish fly. Check 1 2 1 2. Dah on. Okay. Assalamualaikum. Khabar semua. Thank you for come here today. I need to explain the new SOP. New SOP. Because I know a lot of the rakyat is confused. I don't know why they're confused. It's actually very easy. The new SOP is almost the same as the old SOP. And the old SOP was just like the old new SOP. Senang je. So if you have any question, please ask question. Ya dia, apa dia? Alcohol. Alcohol categorized by the National Security Council as non-essential. Therefore, banned. Tak boleh jual. Is banned. Tak boleh. Cannot. Lagipun alcohol is no good for the SOP. Because when people are drinking, then they come out, suddenly they love everybody. They see the people, the friend, they want to hug the friend. I love you, brother. Oh, you are like my brother. Tak boleh. Ni patah SOP. The SOP is broken. Tak boleh. 1 meter. Must keep away. Any other question? Cigarette, rokok. Rokok is also non-essential. Tapi boleh jual. Why? Because it's essential to the cigarette addict. You don't know. If you are not a smoker, you will understand. Do you smoke? You don't smoke. Where you from? Police. No wonder lah. You don't know. Cigarette addict, they must get the cigarette. If they don't get, it will be a problem. Tak dapat rokok, dia suddenly like, geram je macam, tak boleh. We must look after our addicted rakyat. We must take care of them. Lagipun, if you have no cigarette, then the rakyat, what happen to them? What will happen? They will turn to heroin. Macam mana tu? Do you know how difficult it is to shoot up heroin when you are doing Zoom conference? Susah tu. Tengah Zoom, you want to, you nak ikat ni. Susah. Cannot. At least dengan rokok, boleh. Rokok, you just light under the table. Senang tu. Apa? Do I smoke? It's not about me. I'm not important myself. It's about the rakyat. The rakyat, we must look after them. So, I think macam ni, kalau apa-apa, there's nothing else, I just nak pergi Rokuzen, pergi my friend restaurant. Not, I take away from the restaurant because now cannot eat at the restaurant. Hey, it's Harith Iskandar, 60-second response. I got a direct message on Facebook from a Joe Harith who asked, Harith, you anti-Melayu ke? Nak dapat sokong non-bumi sebab family you semua tak ada Malays. Lucky your late father Melayu bracket soldier. Kalau dia ada, sedih tengok you sekarang. Okay, I tried to reply to Joe Harith directly on Facebook, but I think he blocked me. I could not do that, so I'm putting it out there. My late father, Colonel Musa bin Muhammad, waktu dia di hutan during the communist insurgency in the 60s and 70s, alongside all the other soldiers daripada berbagai bangsa of the 6th Regiment Rangers, tak pernah fikir kita sedang bertugas untuk mempertahankan bumi ataupun non-bumi. Diorang semua fikir kita bertugas untuk mempertahankan rakyat Malaysia. So I don't think my late father would be sedih to see what I'm doing now. Tapi mungkin dia sedih kalau dia tahu ada juga orang Malaysia zaman ini yang ada mentality yang kata kita hanya boleh sokong bumi atau hanya boleh sokong non-bumi. I'm Harith Iskandar, 60-second response. Saya sokong Malaysia. Alright, assalamualaikum. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen out there in the world. My name is Harith Iskandar, and selamat datang once again to another episode of What's Going On Malaysia. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. As usual, I welcome all of you. I will be taking your comments. As you can see, just right here in the corner here, Kalpan Govindan says, good evening. Michael Lee, Salam Harith. Aziza Ali says, Salam Harith. And all. So keep on commenting. Keep on sharing. Guys, if you're on Facebook, please share this post. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. And also share this Facebook and YouTube live on your Facebook and YouTube as well. All right, I gotta say something. Every week I have one or two really interesting guests, and they come from all parts of the divide, shall we say. You know, kalau kita cakap pasal politik, they come from all sides. They come from left, right, center, middle, belakang, semua ada. But very rarely have I had a guest that sebelum show dah mula, that there's been so many comments, and I will be honest, not all of the comments have been favorable, which, by the way, okay, cool, because this is the reason I do this show. I do the show, What's Going On Malaysia, because basically I want to talk to as many interesting people as possible to find out their point of view, to get, you know, a different point of view, to learn a few things that I may not have known. Basically, show ini macam ini, this is macam my rumah, ini macam rumah saya, and I invite guests to my house. Now, here's the thing. When you invite a guest to your house, of course, kita orang Malaysia, kita sopan santun sikit, and you know, if the guests feel comfortable, they will start talking about what they want to talk about, and I'm just an interested person, and I will speak to that person how I like to speak to that person. That does not mean that kita hanya menjemput orang yang kita suka atau hanya menjemput orang yang kita we have the same point of view. That is not the point of living, ladies and gentlemen. We need to be able to connect with, we need to be able to have conversations with, we need to be able to really just meet and talk with all types of people, walaupun orang tu tidak tidak suka dengan kita ataupun kita tak suka dengan dia in terms of the point of view. You don't have to agree on everything, but at least you can agree to disagree. And that is why I have the guests that I have on the show. So, saya dah terima banyak komen. Oh, Harith, kenapa you jemput this next guest? Oh, he's a waste of time. Or I'm not going to watch. Guys, that's your choice. You don't have to watch. That's great. Thank you for spending 25 seconds to tell me that you're not going to watch. But you know what? I'm just saying, if you do watch, not necessarily you're going to like what you're going to have when you hear, but at least you get it from the horse's mouth. Katapun orang Melayu kata daripada mulut kuda. I don't even think that's a saying. I just made that up. Completely made that up. So guys, once again, keep on commenting. Keep on commenting. Keep on sharing. Good evening, Malaysia. Bianca, Jolene, good evening. Nice shirt, bro. Palani, Way. Pelani, Papa Joe says salam Harith. Okay, ini semua komen-komen yang cantik, yang you know, very friendly, you know. But there were many comments sebelum ni that were critical, that were I would even say you know, nonsensical sometimes. But you know what? I'm going to bring the guest right onto the in the platform right now, and we're going to get straight to the matter because I am as interested as anybody else to talk to this gentleman and to hear what's been going on. And in case you do not know, this gentleman is actually not in Malaysia. He's actually in England at the moment. It is just past 3 p.m. in England. So without much further ado, please welcome onto the platform what's going on in Malaysia, Raja Petra Kamarudin. Apa khabar, tuan?
Hi, and hello to all Malaysians. Assalamualaikum, and good tidings, peace be upon you to everyone. Probably half of you are my enemies, so yeah. I mean, I know I'm entering hostile ground here, but shoot away.
Okay, yeah, we will get to that hostile ground in just a moment, but before we do, I need to clarify some things. We've never actually met before, right? And this is literally one of the first times we've spoken, other than just a few moments ago during the test. Tapi ramai orang tanya, oh, did you approach him or did he approach you? As if there's some kind of conspiracy theory. I can assure everyone who's watching, I contacted Raja. Do I call you RPK? Do I call you Raja Petra? What is it? What is the protocol?
My friends call me Pet or Pete. So if you're a friend, call me Pet or Pete. It doesn't matter.
all right, Pete. So basically, I know of you. I've followed your blogs over the years. I can't say I personally have any strong feelings either way for or against you. But then I thought to myself, yeah, you know what? I'd like to talk to this guy and find out. I've been following his Malaysia Today portal. I'd like to find out from his point of view. So kepada mereka yang kat luar tu yang menganggapkan ini some kind of big conspiracy theory, it's just, I just talk to who I want to talk to. So here's my first question. I'm going to go straight into it. Why? I'm not even kidding. You are the most hated person that I have had on my show. What is that about?
Specifically, meaning?
I'm just going to pull a couple of comments out. Orang call you a traitor, orang call you a racist, orang call you a machai, orang, you know, say you've been paid off left, right, and center. I really, to be honest, I can't really be bothered about what most people say most of the time, but I'm interested in your opinion, or, you know, I'm sure you get this all day long, probably. What is all of that about? Why does that kind of emotion come about?
You mean from me or from the other people?
From the other people. From the other people.
Well,
why are these people saying these things about you?
People like to hear what they like to hear. They like to, you know, they want you to say things which they believe in. And if you say something they don't believe in, they call you all sorts of things. I mean, if you go into a mosque and you talk about how great Islam is, you know, and how, you know, Prophet Muhammad and the Quran and this and that, and, you know, the people in the mosque will support you. 10,000 people in the mosque will agree with what you say, but you go into a church and you say the same thing, and those thousands of people in the church are going to disagree with you. So basically, you can say the same things to two different audiences, and you get two different reactions. But if I was to say nice things about Islam in a mosque, and then I go into a church and condemn Islam, then everybody is going to love me, both sides of the divide. So people are driven, emotionally driven by whether you say what they like or whether you say what they don't like. And I do not say what people like, I say what I like.
Okay, fair enough. That is a very clear and concise explanation. Uh, this is just coming from my experience. So my perception is, my experience is like many years ago, you were in the heat of the whole birthday movement, and at that time the opposition. And from my experience is that at one point in time, and I don't have the specifics, that you appeared to then speak highly of the people you once were opposing. Would that be a correct gauge of the situation?
Most Malaysians or most people attach themselves to a movement, a political party, or whatever. They cannot seem to separate the cause from whatever movement they attach with. You know, my cause has never changed since 1977. 1977 was the first time I met Tok Guru Abdul Hadi Awang in Terengganu. He had just come back from overseas. You know, he went to Medina University, he went to Cairo University, and when he finished his studies, he came home. And I was introduced to him through a friend, and I straight away took on to him. I spoke to him, had a chat with him, and I found him very sincere. And in 1981, I went to Mecca. I did my Hajj, and I was with him, and I met also the past president, Ustaz Fadil Noor. And I even introduced my wife to him, and my wife said, you know, Ustaz Fadil Noor appears to be a very clean person. You look at his face, and you know, he's sincere and berseri, muka berseri, and definitely we can follow them. So I got taken in basically by the cause of PAS. And my cause was with PAS all along from the 70s until this very minute. I have not changed. Now, I might change in terms of political associations, in terms of political loyalty, but I still remain true to the cause.
What is the
Yes,
cause?
well, the cause is upholding what you know, Hadi would always say, you know, masyarakat, you know, sort of a civil society. You know, there's an Arabic word for it, you know. But basically, we're talking about a civil society. And in a civil society, there's many things that make up civil society. And PAS has always maintained that. In fact, some years back, they launched a slogan called PAS for all. PAS not just for Muslims, PAS for everybody. Because justice doesn't choose race or religion. Justice is for every living creature, including animals. Even animals are given justice. So I felt there was a good cause, respecting the environment, you know, opposing cruelty to animals, justice for everybody, whether you're at the highest or lowest strata of society, whatever religion you believe in, and whichever race you may belong to. And that is basically the sum of the whole thing.
Okay, let me ask you this. You have, I understand the cause, and I would agree, this is a very just cause. Do you think, in your honest opinion, and let's focus on the party that you have brought up, PAS is still committed in its current form to that cause?
I spoke to Ustaz Fadil Noor, the late Ustaz Fadil Noor. I used to drive up to Alostar and spend the whole day with him from morning till evening, just brainstorming and picking his mind to see what drives him, what motivates him, what's his game plan, what's his end game, and so on. And I think one thing he made it very clear when he answered my question. I said, look, why are we in the political arena to try to achieve what we wish to achieve? Can't we do it outside politics? Because politics is dirty. There's no such thing as clean politics. I remember telling him, clean politics is like a virgin prostitute. No such animal exists. You're either this or you're that. You cannot be both at the same time. So clean politics is definitely an oxymoron. And if we are virtuous in our motives and in our objectives and our cause, get out of politics. And he said something. He said, Ku, he used to call me Pak Ku. He says, Pak Ku, there's no way we can achieve what we want to achieve, implement what we want to implement, attain what we wish to attain without political power. The whole foundation is based on political power. If you do not have political power, you can shout outside for years until you die, you'll achieve nothing. First, you need political power. Then you implement whatever are your dreams, and even Martin Luther King said, I have a dream. Yeah, but a dream without political power remains a dream. They need to have power first, and then your dreams come true. So I believe that. I say, yeah, sure. So PAS is a political party. A political party with a noble objective. And sometimes in politics, you need to be, pragmatic. The end justifies the means. You need to make a deal with the devil. If you have no stomach for that, get out of politics. Go become a preacher. Become like Zakir Naik. Go preach all over the world, but don't become a politician.
Okay, the reason I'm laughing is because I totally understand what you are saying, but isn't it weird that we started off talking about just cause, and then to achieve that just cause you need to enter politics, but when you enter politics it's a dirty game, and then you then got to start making deals with the devil. So kalau kita ikut logik, kalau kita ikut the fairy tale, the both don't seem to meet, tapi terpaksa be put into the same kandang, I guess, in order to achieve the end means.
You need to tebang the forest. You tebang the forest, and you burn down the forest before you can grow anything on the land. That's it.
It's a tough one. Okay. I just thank you so much for sharing your belief in what the cause is about. And I'll hold that in mind as we head to the next direction. You've been away now for 12 years, is that right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you're out there, you're in London, you're looking back in. Of course, sekarang dengan social media and with the internet, the distance probably doesn't seem as much as it used to seem before. I've been following a lot about your posts from the last year, especially the latest ones. So right now as it stands, maybe spend a couple of minutes for those who have not seen your Facebook updates, a couple of minutes where you think Malaysia stands at the moment, a couple of minutes of how we got there, and then later on we'll talk about what's next. So where do we stand at the moment?
Where we stand at the moment, politically, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, politically, we are seeing a perception of political chaos. Basically, the political chaos is because it is said that Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin does not have the majority required to stay in power. They even said he is an illegal prime minister, backdoor prime minister, and that he was made prime minister by a palace-backed coup. I've seen many websites, portals refer to it as a palace-backed coup, backdoor government, and so on. I think people are forgetting one very fundamental thing. Muhyiddin did not grab power. Muhyiddin was in the government. Mahathir decided to resign and left a vacuum And there cannot be a vacuum in the government. There must be a new head of government appointed. So Sri Paduka Baginda, Yang di-Pertuan Agong, the king, had to do what was necessary to fill the vacuum with a suitable replacement. And he did that, according to the constitution, by meeting all the members of the parliament to find out who has what, the constitution would say, the confidence of the majority members of the house. And the opinion of the Agong was Moidin had this this majority, and he appointed Moidin. So at that point of time, yes, the Agong did not break the law. The Agong did not violate the constitution. The Agong followed proper protocol, proper convention, and even followed the letter of the constitution by appointing a prime minister who, in his opinion, did command the confidence of the majority. That's it. Now, if in the meantime people are not happy with that choice, then they have, the prerogative to kick Moidin out. And there's a procedure on how you kick him out again, which thus far, that procedure has not been followed. And, they've not met the conditions of how to kick out the prime minister. So what we are seeing today is a group of very frustrated and very desperate people trying to grab back power which they lost out of their own stupidity. They tried to oust Mahathir in February because they felt Mahathir would not let go in May as he had promised. He was supposed to retire in May and hand power. They were worried that Mahathir might play them out and not do so. So before Mahathir plays them out, they play him out first by forcing him to step down and hand power. Mahathir did that. He stepped down and he left a vacuum, and Mahathir forced the Agong to act. The Agong had no choice but to act, and that's how Moidin came in. Moidin didn't kick Mahathir out. Moidin didn't bring down the government. The Agong said, look, guy, there's a vacuum. I need it to be filled in, and you're it. And Moidin said, fine, whether reluctantly or happily, I'll take the job. So what's the issue? Is there a crisis? I don't see there's a crisis. You see, this whole thing is being spearheaded by Anwar. Anwar started his move to become prime minister in 1981. He called his Abim supporters and he said, look, I want to be prime minister. There's no way I can be prime minister in PAS. I need to go into UMNO to become prime minister. Fadil Noor had already opened the door for Anwar to join PAS. Fadil Noor was the deputy president. He said he's prepared to stay deputy president and let Anwar langkah and become the new president of PAS. But Anwar said, no, as president of PAS, I'm never going to be prime minister. I want to go in and become the president of UMNO. And in 1982, he did just that. And he brought half his Abim supporters into UMNO, and he asked his other half to go join PAS so that he can control both parties. So it's a 40-year-old ambition, 40-year-old dream, started in 1981. And last year, Anwar was supposed to become prime minister, and the job instead, it fell to Moidin. And Anwar is desperate, he's frustrated, and he's trying to accelerate Moidin's downfall so that he can take over. He's already, 74, 75? How much time does he have left? He might even get COVID and die tomorrow. And before he dies, he wants to be prime minister. So he's shaking the whole country. He's disturbing everything, hoping that Moidin will fall. And there, finally, he can become prime minister so that when he dies, he can shut his eyes so that he does not die with his eyes open. That's it.
Okay. I have not heard that version before, but thank you for sharing with us. I can tell you what the Malaysians here are most frustrated about was that this all happened just prior to what has become a 1.5-year-long pandemic. Putting aside politics for the moment, the reality is that the country is struggling, the people are struggling, and therefore, as a country is struggling and its people are struggling, the automatic reaction is to blame the government. Now, I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but that is where the frustration lies at the moment. At the moment, to be honest, kita semua dah macam penat dengan politics. We're almost like we need to stop arguing or focusing on this and focus on the people. So, bringing back to the question, and it has been a political conversation, part of the not to say distrust, not happy with Muhyiddin is how this pandemic has been handled. So now you've explained the legal political ramifications, but can you understand why the country is upset with the person? I'm talking about the rakyat, not the politician, not the current opposition, but the rakyat. It looks like this situation has not been handled from the rakyat point of view.
All over the world, governments are bungling. In England, you've, in Malaysia, 11,000 people have died and you're half the population of England. 33 million Malaysians compared to 65, 66 million British citizens. So we are times 2 of Malaysia. You've seen 11,000 deaths. We've seen 150,000 deaths. And many of those deaths were not reported as COVID deaths because we have a very large old folks home population here, care home population. And we've got cases where in one care home, 13, 14 people died in a day of all age. But they died, they couldn't breathe and so on. So now they're beginning to unravel the thing and says, actually, most of those people in care homes who so-called died of natural causes could have actually died of COVID. And if we were to exhume the bodies, dig up the graves and test them, probably they're all COVID positive. So the deaths could be more than 150. And what happened was in England, whenever the old folks, especially the old folks, when they are already on stage 4 or stage 5, more or less, there's no hope for them to survive. They just send them over to the old folks home, to the care homes, and you got these COVID positive patients from hospitals sent to the care homes, and another 14 people get COVID and die in care homes. So, hey, the British government handled it badly. Boris Johnson was almost dead. They had to keep him alive all through the night, and it was touch and go. By tomorrow, either he's alive or he's dead, and somehow he survived. And he actually thanked the 2 nurses who kept him alive, sat beside his bed, kept him alive until the next day. Even the Prime Minister bungled. Yes, all over the world, even in England, we messed up everything because we just don't know how to handle this new thing called COVID-19. And the other problem is here, the British government doesn't care. If they decide lockdown, they lock down. People are not happy, fine. People not happy, too bad. In Malaysia, we got one group of people saying this, and the Chinese businessmen say that, and the Pakatan people say that, and the UMNO people. And then we got a prime minister who has to balance between lives and livelihoods, and the Chinese businessmen want the factories to run, and then all the foreign workers, most of them illegal workers, are kept inside the factory. They're actually locked up in a factory. They cannot leave the factory. They lock up the doors and they work and sleep in dormitories in the factory. And they are so close packed, they infect each other. So they say, yeah, but we got to keep the businesses going. If not, the economy will suffer. Fine. You keep the businesses going. You lock up all the workers in the factory. Half of them are actually illegal immigrants. And then people die. But the economy does well. So which is it that you want? You want to save lives? You want to save the economy? Something has to break. Now, if you do what England is, to hell with the economy, let's save the lives first. And people suffer, the government says, fine. Let's go and give them. So the British government spends billions giving hands out and this, and businesses get grants from the government and this, and all. Even council tax is waived during this period so that people don't have to, suffer the financial consequences. The government is actually spending money which we will have to pay back over the next 30 years. My grandchildren are still going to pay for what the government is spending today to fight COVID. My grandchildren are going to be in debt long after I'm dead and in my grave. Is Malaysia prepared to do that? Or you want 6 months moratorium on loans? Fine. 6 months moratorium on loans repayment. The bank has to make money. The money has to come from somewhere. Is the government going to, give billions to the bank to compensate them for their losses? If the government does that, where does the money come from? You don't want VAT. You don't want toll. You don't want import duties on cars. You want everything free. Hey, here we pay 5,000 ringgit on council tax. Every house. We pay 20% income tax on our salary. We pay 20% GST or VAT on everything we buy. Have you heard the Beatles song about the taxman? They even tax the ground that you walk on. I'm sure you know that song. This reality. We are paying through our nose here. But this money is helping to solve the COVID problem. Malaysians want everything free. You want businesses to open, and you want no one to die from COVID. Where do all these people come from, man? And then you blame the Prime Minister.
I wouldn't say that it is. That problem of is it life or livelihood? I think every country across the world is facing that problem. From my perspective, that I don't know whether you can see it from over there. There seems to be a communication problem between the ministries, and the politics behind it is not helping. Which goes back to what you were saying earlier. Politics is dirty, and unfortunately, it's really hitting the average man. It's really hitting the man in the street. Kita sekarang macam, I've started an NGO called the Whole Branch, and we are just seeing the numbers grow of people who are losing the ability to buy the basics, losing the ability to pay for the basics. And therefore, it's one thing to say, why do we always blame the government? But at the same time, I agree with you. It's bad all over the world. We don't have the time to focus on the rest of the world. And it's just, it's tough. It's really, really tough. And I don't know how else to say that. So here's my take. And I want to ask you this also. Kalau, and I've seen your Facebook post, you say, there's a concerted effort to bring down Muhyiddin, but who's next? Who would be the best bet? And what you're saying is that most people don't want Anwar. Is that right? Am I correct in saying that? And therefore, they would rather back Muhyiddin to avoid having Anwar. Now, how does that play out?
Anwar has served in many ministries since 1982, Deputy Youth, he's been in education, he's been in finance, show me anything good that Anwar has done since he's been in the cabinet. 1982, that's almost 40 years. He was in the government, or at least during the time he was in UMNO, from 1982 to 1998. What achievements does he have to his name? When he was in, Ministry of Education, he messed up the whole education system, and until today, Malaysia is still paying for the very bad education system that we've inherited. The problem with Malaysia is we are not properly educated. Malaysians have not been taught how to rationalize, how to think. There's no logic in most of what Malaysians say, and it's all because of the education system. And he was in Ministry of Finance, and what did he do? Okay, 22 months Pakatan was in power, and we had a whole bunch of new ministers and deputy ministers. And what did they do? If you are saying we want to get rid of Muhyiddin because of the poor performance of the government, and definitely I've seen a lot of the missteps and failures of the present government. But you are telling me let's kick out this whole bunch of idiots and replace with another whole bunch of idiots. What for? What for? And Malaysia's political system is a system of reward. A system of, where if you are loyal to the boss, you get appointed. There's no meritocracy. In Singapore, The Singapore government will go to the top bank in Singapore and ask the chief executive of that top bank how much is your salary. And the government say, I'm going to double your salary, resign from the bank and go and come and join the government. And then they don't care whether you're loyal to the party or you're loyal to the prime minister. They want the best brains to run Singapore. Now we compare, say, oh, Singapore is great because they're doing fantastic compared to Malaysia. Of course, because Singapore, especially since the time of Lee Kuan Yew, he doesn't care two hoots about what Singaporeans think. If you're not happy, leave. Get out of Singapore. Go migrate to another country. And if you talk too much, I just arrest you and put you under ISA. Some have been 30 years under ISA in Singapore. Some were released from ISA and their citizenships were withdrawn and they became stateless. You think Lee Kuan Yew cares about civil liberties, human rights? No. He only cares about Singapore. Everything else can go to hell. Because civil liberties, human rights, democracy is not going to build a strong Singapore. An iron hand will. Now, if Mohidin can rule with an iron hand, jangan lawan all these unhappy people talking about this, talking about that. You can't make everyone happy. You cannot please everybody. Just focus on the good of the country. Anyone else is not happy, tell them, okay, migrate, go and become a citizen of another country. If you don't like this country, you talk too much, I'm going to put you inside. And we went and removed the ISA. I mean, I've been twice under ISA. They wanted to catch me a third time before I left the country. But at the end of the day, there's also merits in silencing people who talk not for the good of the country, but for the good of their own political ambitions.
Well, that would be the argument that most Malaysians are now saying about most, if not all, of the politicians. It all seems to be about their own good. Yes, I will agree that there are a handful who appear to be working for the country, for the rakyat. Are you ever going to come back to Malaysia?
Well, in 1971, when I was just about to reach 21, I told my father I'm going to leave the country and go back to England where I was born when I'm 21. 1 month before my 21st birthday, my father died. So I got stuck in Malaysia because of family commitments and so on. Then I got married and I told my wife, okay, when I retire, at the age of 60, I'm leaving Malaysia, I'm going back to England, and that's it. I left Malaysia a couple of months before I touched 60, so I almost was 60. So my plan was to come back here. People say, yeah, you're scared to come back to Malaysia. No, I'm not scared to come back to Malaysia. Will the Minister of Home Affairs, Hamzah Zainuddin, allow me to come back to Malaysia? I'll come back to Malaysia. But at the moment, I cannot come back to Malaysia. They'll stop me at the immigration and they'll kick me out and send me home to England. So it's not something I can do. But yes, I'm prepared to come back if I'm able to, but not come back to live. Maybe to visit, spend a month in Langkawi or something, but that's about it. But in today's global environment, you can be on the moon and still be in touch with what's happening.
Okay, let me ask you this. Why do you still care about? You seem through your writings, your focus, your messaging, and all. Why do you still care about what happens in Malaysia?
I'm a Malaysian. I'm a Malaysian amongst 1 million Malaysians who live outside Malaysia. There's 1 million of us all over, in England, in Australia, New Zealand, America, Canada, China, Sweden even. There's 1 million of us all over, and many of us still care about Malaysia, so I write about Malaysia.
Okay. Is there anything good that you see currently? Any good movements, good things happening that gives you hope?
The only good thing I see there is political turmoil, and turmoil is good. In chaos, there's opportunity, as the Chinese would say. And the good thing I see is that there's no such thing as warlords anymore. Nobody is strong. No, it's not strong. PBBM is not strong. PAS is not strong. DAP is not strong. PKR is not strong. And everybody depends on each other now to survive and to make alliances. You see, political strength in the past, UMNO, Barisan Nasional, when they used to win 90% of the seats, 80% of the seats, every election, more than 2/3 majority, they became arrogant. The political arrogance was really sickening. Even when you talk to them, they'll tell you, if you're so clever, how come I'm the one sitting here and not you? Even if you've got good ideas, they're not going to listen to you. Now, they can't afford to be arrogant anymore. Politicians now are hanging by their fingernails, just trying to stay in power, just trying to survive. And that's good, because political arrogance is what brought down Malaysia. And Malaysia is in the sorry state that it is today because of political arrogance. And this started from the time of Mahathir, 40 years ago in 1981, and it went on until now. But now, since Muhyiddin came to power, since Pakatan was ousted last year, they realized that political power is temporary, and they're really not as strong and powerful as they thought they were. Now they got to be a bit more concerned about the rakyat and a bit more civil. And I think it's good. We teach the politicians a lesson, because I remember back in 1977 when I first joined PAS. 77, 78, I became active in PAS, which I mentioned earlier when I met her. There was a function, Sultan of Terengganu punya function, and I was invited because the Tengku Ampuan Terengganu then was my father's cousin, and an UMNO guy confronted me. Quite a powerful UMNO guy confronted me, and he says, "Hey, we heard that you are now with PAS." I said, "Yeah, so?" He said, "Do you know, if you want to be with PAS, you better leave Terengganu, get out of here. We don't want you in Terengganu." That's the kind of arrogance. They actually tell me to leave the state, get out of the state. And I said, one day, when we, the people, come to power, and this was in 1977, one day when we, the people, come to power, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to line all the politicians up against the wall and shoot them all dead, I said. And he got shocked. And actually, that's what they did in Iran during the Iran Revolution. After Khomeini took over, they lined up all the politicians against the wall and they shot them dead. And that's why I was a very strong Khomeini supporter, because I said that's the way we teach the politicians a lesson. So yes, now the politicians are figure of speech being lined up against the wall and being shot dead. Figure of speech, of course. And that's the way to do it. And I think they realize they cannot afford to be arrogant anymore. If they're arrogant, we're going to shove them nicely, and they're going to regret that they ever crossed us. I mean, I have a lot of good politician friends, but I'm telling you, the political arrogance is what brought Malaysia down to where it is today. That's all. And we should have taught these politicians a long time ago, which we did try in 99. In 1999, in fact, 98, we launched the Reformasi movement. In 99, we had the first election with an opposition coalition. It never happened before, not in 1990, because Tengku Razali couldn't get the coalition going. 99 was the first time in history we got an opposition coalition. And I remember us telling that then, we do not need another political party. When they wanted to form PKR, launch PKR on 4th of April, 99, I said, we do not need another political party. What we need is a opposition coalition. And that's when I started to become a blogger, when I started to write in 99, when I began my career as a blogger. And but we didn't get the support of the people. We went around campaigning and we told the people, you need to support at that time Barisan Alternative, because I said, do not, if you have no confidence in Barisan Alternative, do not give us the votes to form the government. Give us the votes to become a strong opposition, so that we can cut the arrogance of Prime Minister Mahathir and Barisan Nasional down, so that they fear the politicians. They fear the people. Now we fear the politicians. We are scared of politicians. This was in 99. Oh, even when I send people, messages, they say, oh, please don't send. I don't Bukit Aman to know that you are communicating with me. They're so scared. I said, we are scared of politicians. We have to make politicians scared of us. I said, they must be scared of the people. 99, but they didn't want. Then when I spoke to the Chinese, I said, why don't you support, Barisan Alternative? Why don't you support the Reformasi movement? They said, well, we rather have a strong economy. Barisan has proven they can run the country. We rather have a strong economy. I said, yeah, but we're talking about civil liberties, human rights, and we're talking about democracy. Yeah, civil liberties, human rights, democracy, all that can put food on the table. I said, all that can buy food, can buy rice. No, we need money. So we go with whoever can guarantee money. So it all boils down, the Malaysian attitude, it all boils down to money. And today you complain about the government, you complain about the Prime Minister. You had a chance to change. You blew it. And you allowed Mahathir to retire, and you allowed Abdullah Badawi to take over, you allowed Najib to take over, and you decided it's time for change. Let's kick out. And yeah, sure. May 2018, you got that change. You got a new government. And the new government proved to be worse than the old government. And now we got a newer government. And you said this government's no good. We need an even newer still government. Who?
Itulah soalan Cipumas, the $1 million question. It's the who will still be the same, in my opinion. You know what? A lot of people sent in some questions for you. I'd like to play a couple of them right now. And this is a question from Mr. Michael Warren.
Hi, RPK. Couple of quick questions here. One, today in Malaysia, we have scandals and murders that date back 10, 15 years. We've got issues in the country that drag us through the mud on a global stage, a real source of embarrassment. People on the global stage seem to know how to address things and who's guilty. But in Malaysia, our court cases go on. And as we get closer and closer to resolution, it seems somebody then just wags the tail of a dog, starts a new war somewhere else and diverts attention. In your opinion, what is required in our country now to resolve these matters? Second question, what can we in Malaysia as Malaysian citizens, what can we, the men and lady on the street, what can we do to make a difference? I mean, given the context of your background, I mean, you've been trying to make changes for ages. Your heritage, your social stature, and yet all the things that you do constantly seem to be thwarted as well. What chance do we have to be able to make a difference? Thanks.
Well, I really don't know what to say, because as I said earlier, the opportunity for change was, presented itself back in 98, 99. No one wanted to grab that opportunity. And the question is, has that window closed? The window where we could have, made a change, has it closed, or is it still there? We thought, okay, we didn't do it in 98. We didn't do it in 2004. We didn't do it in 2013. 20 years later, we did it in 2018. And that change that we thought we had, did it prove to be a positive or negative change? as long as our system of politics, our political system is based on a popularity contest, and it's all about who can speak the most, and people who are clever at speaking get elected into office, even though they are totally clueless about how to run the country, we are forever going to have a bunch of misfits running the country, and the country is never going to see change, and that's it. Here in England, we have no ceramah. We don't even know. I mean, there's no such thing as like in Malaysia, having people ceramah all over the place every night. That doesn't exist in Malaysia. Uh, do you know we don't even realize an election is going on until someone says, "Hey, have you gone to vote yet?" He says, "What? Is it today? Oh shit! No, I didn't realize it was today. Yeah, today. It closed at 8 o'clock. You still got time, or some places close at 10 o'clock at night. You still got time." And okay, fine. Maybe I vote, maybe I don't. But elections come, elections go. Totally, I notice, and they say, "Who's the candidate for our area?" Don't know. I haven't even heard his name before or her name before. And I go to the polling center, and a lady walks up to me and says, "I don't know who to vote for. Who's contesting in our area?" I said, "I don't know. Who do you think I should vote for?" I said, "I don't think you should be asking me that. You should decide yourself." You see, uh, people here are not so politicized, and candidates get chosen based on the CV. So they send these little flyers around to the house. You read the flyer, you say, this guy looks impressive. He's got, his academic qualifications, his experience, his background. I think I'll vote for him. By the way, which party is he from? Say, oh, he's Labour, but he seems better than Conservative. People are voted on merits.
Yes. However, that is England. And Malaysia, since 1957, we have been split down these racial / religious lines, and we have had no experience other than that, frankly speaking. And
whose fault? And whose fault? Is it the politicians' fault or our fault? It's because we love ceramahs. Ahmad Sabu goes ceramah, 30, 40,000 people will attend the ceramah. Lim Kee Siang goes to ceramah, tens of thousands people go to ceramah. And the more Mat Sabu hantam the government, kerajaan bodoh, Anwar Ibrahim Al-Jaburi, Mama Bendahara Mahathir, people cheer, people clap, people are happy. So he becomes an entertainer. Mat Sabu, the clown, Mat Sabu, the entertainer. And they go there and shout all sorts of things, and people love it. If here you go and ceramah, you come to our neighborhood, you stand outside, not a single person is going to stand to hear what you have to say. So no one's going to come. So it's our fault. We want that kind of politics. We want those kind of politicians. We want people who can scream and shout and insult and make fun and mock other people. We love it. And that's the kind of politicians we get. And those are the kind of politicians, where, elephant, make love, grass get trampled, so we get out of the grass. I mean, who voted for him? You voted for him. You voted for him because you love the way he talks. You love the way he mocks and entertains you on stage like a clown. You love it. So that's the kind of politicians you get. Those are the people running the country. And as long as Malaysians continue with this kind of culture, that's as long as you're going to get clowns and idiots to run the country. That's it. Your fault. Nobody else.
Well, okay, I agree with you. Culturally, that is what happens in entertainment as well. Different cultures have different styles of entertainment. But you know what? I won't agree with you that you can just say it's the people's fault. Because at the end of the day, yes, The people have the vote. They vote in. They vote who is in front of them, the choices that they're given, and they put that person into that place. I will argue with you, though, that the one thing that the pandemic is showing up is that maybe it didn't happen in 99, but the people are actually, in my experience, beginning to understand that politics is as dirty as you and I have known for quite a while and are looking for something different. What is that difference? I don't have the answer at the moment, but when I say we, I mean generally people in general are tired of politics. Is there another system? I don't know. Malaysia has never had another system. There may not be another system, but at the end of the day, we all really, really. I mean, you say you love Malaysia. We are here. We love Malaysia as much as anyone else, and that's why I'm here. That's why we're still here. Some of us can't get out, but the thing is, we need to do something different, and I guess that's why I do the show as well, to try and find what that difference might be. Is it a thought? Is it a change in culture? Is it a change in system? Whatever it is, we need to look for it. I mean, like I say, I don't have the answers. I'm still looking myself. I really do wish, and I hope that as many people as possible get on the same boat. And in a sense, I agree with you. Politics is dirty, and we have voted those people in over the last 50, 60 years. Who are the other choices? We'll find out in the next election, I'm sure. But on that note, I just want to ask you one more thing. If you say you can't come back, right? Because they'll make you U-turn and go back again.
I've never actually asked the government whether they allow me to come home, to be honest. So I don't know whether I can or cannot come back, because I've never really seen a need on coming back.
Okay.
But yeah, probably when COVID is over, I might tell the government I'm on the next plane, and either you let me in or you arrest me. It's your choice. So I probably will do that. Yeah. I'll let you know so that you can be there.
But yeah, if you do come back and if they do let you in, we'll definitely. I don't know whether they'll come to the airport. Jauh Sepang. When you left, was it KLIA or was it still Subang Airport? Oh my God, Subang was very close.
Well, yeah, I can answer that if you have time. I left by hitching a ride to Alostar, and from Alostar I went to Kuala Kedah, and from Kuala Kedah I jumped on a speedboat to Langkawi. And from Langkawi, I jumped on a boat to go to Phuket. And from Phuket, Reporters Without Borders, gave me a plane ticket to come to UK. They wanted to give me a plane ticket to Paris. They wanted to arrange political asylum in France and even a job. But then I had to learn French, so I said, it'll take too long to learn a new language. And I got two sons already in Manchester, and we own a house in Manchester. So I just go to Manchester. So they gave me a ticket to Manchester, and that's how I ended up here.
Just for the benefit of the audience whose ears may not go back that far, why were you running?
Okay, simple reason. In 2008, I was detained for the second time under the ISA. First time was in 2001. They detained me in 2008. And my wife, went to court. And one of the lawyers, we had Malay Intias,
I know Malay.
Sam Harris, and Harun, who's now the Speaker of the Parliament, Asa Harun. He was one of those 7 panel of lawyers who represented me. And they basically took my case to court, and the Shah Alam High Court, and the judge, Said Muhammad, agreed with my lawyer's argument that my detention was illegal, unconstitutional, and ordered my release. My wife then asked Malik to tell the judge that they want me to be brought to court and released in court, not released in Kemunting. Because if I'm released in Kemunting, they can just rearrest me and put me back inside. So the judge ordered me to be presented to the Shah Alam High Court and an order that I'm not to be rearrested for the next 48 hours. Then what happened was they tried to appeal in the federal court. The government tried to appeal my release and tried to get me back. Later, when the appeal failed, they wanted to issue a new detention order, which will be my third ISA detention. And I got wind of it. So on the Saturday night, it was one Saturday night, I left. I arrived in Thailand on Sunday. Monday morning, they came to my house. A couple of hours later, but I was already gone. So I missed it by like 12 hours. 12 hours late, and they would have got me the third time. So that was the reason I left, because they wanted to again detain me without trial. They were not happy that I was released. So my wife said, look, it's very tiring driving up and down Kemunting every week to see you in, in prison. And, I want to just get out. So I told my wife, no, I'm going to stay and I'm going to fight this one. And she said, this time, you're not going to get out. Because they know what happened the last time. They're going to make sure that the detention order is airtight. And I'm not going to spend the next couple of years driving up and down. So I'm going to leave for the UK with or without you. And she started packing her bags. So I had no choice but to also pack my bags. If not, she would have gone off and left. And that's why I decided, to come here. Anyway, I was going to come here the following year when I touched 60, as I said earlier. And I already had a house here, which we bought 3 years before that. And my sons were here. So I said, okay, fine, let's just go. So this is how I ended up here. Either here or Kemunting. It was a choice of that.
Okay, thank you very much for that quite detailed description of your travel. And I think it makes a whole lot of sense. You were already 59 at the time, am I right?
I was already 59. I would have been 16 a year later, which means with or without this issue, I would have come anyway. It was planned.
Okay.
I mean, I bought a house 3 years before that.
I just want to say that thank you so much for agreeing to be on the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
I know that there you have a lot of people who don't like your opinion, don't like your point of view. There are those who do, but at the end of the day, this is a platform for all of us to be able to express our point of views without getting into any kind of, four-letter word disagreements, because we don't all have to agree with each other, but at least we have the avenue to communicate. So I want to say thank you so much to you for being on the show. And I know that you have watched it before and you've commented on it before. And I do wish you all the best. And how's your wife? I forgot to ask earlier on. Is she well?
Yeah, she's fine. She's busy. We have a family kopitiam which keeps her fully occupied, and
and kedai semua sana boleh buka lah kedai.
Yeah, we can open already sit-ins, but most of the business in the UK is takeaway anyway online. So the bulk of the business is all online, but we do have sit-ins, especially weekends, and so she's busy running the family business with my 2 sons and my 2 daughters-in-law. So it's a whole family thingy. So I sit at home and blog, and they earn the bread to feed me while I'm jobless.
Okay. Well, much love to your wife, and also to your sons and your daughter-in-laws and all. And I want to say thank you again for being on the show, and thank you for sharing your life and your point of view with us. Terima kasih.
Okay. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you.
Everybody. Bye-bye.
All right, guys. So there you go. Another episode of What's Going On Malaysia. You know what? Yeah, we all don't have to agree with him. RPK is a character, is a very opinionated person, and he definitely has a lot of fire and passion in him. You got to give him this though. The one thing that mungkin most of you don't know, he was in ISA twice, got out and was going to be heading in for the third time. Now I don't know whether most of you even know what that entailed, being in Kamunting in those days, but I can tell you it probably wasn't much fun. And I've spoken to a few people who've been there. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for commenting. I've been following the comments as well. Please, if you leave a review of the show, either on YouTube or on Twitter or on Facebook, please remember to hashtag What's Going On Malaysia, and you will be in a running to win vouchers from Dome. I have been in contact with a couple of people from last week who have won the vouchers. Got to get the vouchers out to you guys. Terima kasih for spending this time with us. Terima kasih for taking the time to watch. If you had watched all the way through, even better. If you have been sharing it, man, you are my star. Love it, you guys. Thank you for sharing. On YouTube, please remember to subscribe as well. And I will see you soon. Very, 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 very soon. Another episode of What's Going On Malaysia. And I just like to leave with this one thought. Now, I saw a lot of people were saying, "Oh, Harith, body language, maybe tak suka what he's saying or just didn't like what he's saying." Yeah, that's quite normal. There were many things that he said which I don't agree with, but at the same time, that is not a reason to go attacking on someone. Because let me tell you this: I'm not going to change his mind. RPK Pete is in his mid-70s. In his late 70s, he's been away for 12 years. He's got his own thing going. Nothing I can say will change his mind, but I appreciate him for sharing his point of view. And he knows very well that I don't share the same point of view on most of the things he's saying. But I do respect the fact that whatever he's been through in his life, the tribulations that he's faced, the trials that he's faced, and the pressure that he's been under, at the end of the day, he's got his wife and his kids to think about. And I get that. So, yeah, should he come back? Should he not come back? Wouldn't really bother me. Don't think it's going to make a difference to me. But he's going to do what he's going to do for his family. And to me, yeah, I understand that, regardless of whatever political point of views he may have, and I may differ from that. So once again, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching What's Going On Malaysia. Like I said, this is just a show where I have conversations with people that I want to talk to. Not necessarily people that I agree with, but it's okay not to agree. Just got to be smart, got to be intelligent. At the end of the day, in my opinion, you got to care for your country, you got to care for your society, you got to care for your people, your family, and you got to care for everyone around you. So, once again, terima kasih. Assalamualaikum. What's Going On Malaysia? Leave a review, hashtag, share, comment. I'll see you guys real soon. Take care. Good night.